All right, so thanks for watching another stream. Thanks for watching another video. My name is Dennis, and I love talking about Tesla deal hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best deal on Tesla at the best financing rate. So definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested, and definitely check out my Patreon link down below in the description where you can support the channel and get access to the ultimate Tesla buying guide out there. And as an added benefit, I do respond to all DMs and questions in the Patreon app, and you can schedule a phone call with me where we can go over your exact buying situation on how to get the best deal on Tesla at the best financing. So definitely check out Patreon link down below in the description. And today's live stream is partnered with Mint Mobile, where you can save money on your mobile phone plan, but more on that later. So here it is. Shout out to the EV guy, or I guess shout out to RCN5 or whoever posted this on Reddit. Let's give a good shout out to TBYD683. There is a massive list here of all the different things, and this is pretty extensive. I got to give them credit for sure. Quote, I tracked the price of 3,000 used Teslas, and here is what I found. Quote, I tracked the price of used cars listed on Tesla website for the last 4 months. In total, I tracked 3,000 cars. I track cars listed in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I use a linear regression model to determine what factors influence the price. Some insights. Model Y and Model 3s are listed for 5 days on average before being removed or sold. That's crazy demand. I guess pricing is good. Model X and Model S sell a little bit longer. It takes a little longer, and an average 7 days. I mean, still not bad actually for Tesla to sell cars within 5 to 7 days from their website. Tesla automatically lowers the price if a car does not sell. On average, the price decreased by $200 a day on the used side. So really cool to see that Tesla's pretty aggressive with pricing their strategy, and $200 a day is pretty aggressive. And I guess this happens across all their different models. 68% of cars have basic autopilot. A third of them have full self-driving, and 3% come with enhanced autopilot. 99% of eligible vehicles, used vehicles, include the accelerated boost option. So that makes sense, right? Because Tesla doesn't cost them necessarily anything to add that, so they just throw on that $2,000 option there. Pricing factor estimates by model. Model 3, $97 per $1,000 mile driven. That's how much they reduce it. 127 miles for each extra month in age. Interesting. And a $860 price difference decrease if the vehicle was previously repaired. Model variants, it's about $3,500 for a long range, $9,000 for a new, and $2,300 in a difference for the performance version. So that's pretty interesting to see that they don't really keep the differences or the distances or the differences in dollars between the vehicles that high, which makes sense. I mean, if you can bump up to a performance version for $2,000, that's about the threshold where I would pay extra for going from a long range to performance. Any more than that, it kind of just doesn't make any sort of sense there. Black, $221, gray, $150 have a better resale value compared to red, negative $142, white, negative $93, and blue, negative $56. That's interesting. So I guess the most in-demand Tesla is a black Tesla, at least from this and how they get the most money for black and gray colors. So that's interesting to keep in mind, because if you're buying a new Tesla, you also want to make sure you're set up for the most success and being able to trade it in, resell it, or whatever. But black versus gray being the highest colors in terms of valuation other than red, white, and blue is very interesting to say the least. So now it's going to change my perspective, because I do like red Teslas and I also like blue Teslas. I think blue looks the best on the Model Y, but I've also never had a black Tesla. I would love a black Tesla, and I think that is the best and the way to go maybe in the future if we're doing this. No difference was found between 18-inch and 19-inch wheels. That makes sense, because at the end of the day, those are pretty much the same. If you go higher, like 20 to 21-inch, then I could see where that could make a lot of sense. Model Y, pricing reduced factors, $133 per 1,000 miles, $200 and $239 for extra month and age, and $1,600 difference if previously repaired. So that's interesting to see that if it's been in an accident or had some sort of work done, it's going to impact it a lot more than the Model 3, almost double over the Model 3 in terms of if it's been in a repair status. Y variants, $5,500 for all-wheel drive and $3,100 for the performance version in terms of the difference. Premium options, $1,900 for EAP GP, $2,800 for full self-driving, and $120. That's it for the difference between black and white interiors. So maybe white interior is not necessarily worth more, because that is not much of a difference at all between getting a black and a white interior on the used side. In terms of colors for Model Y, this is interesting to see. Red is held highest in terms of valuation. Then comes black with a better resale value. Gray, white, and blue are the worst, with blue being the worst at minus $306. So interesting to see there. So on the Model Y side, red is the highest in demand, and then second to black, which I kind of like that. Black is a good color. And I think at the end of the day, from what I'm piecing from this, black versus black, getting the color black on Model 3 versus Model Y is going to be your best bet across the board. And 20-inch rims get a $350 premium, and that makes sense because the 19-inch Geminis look much different than the 20-inch induction rims. And then there's a Model X section and a Model S section. I guess we'll skip through some of this and maybe just jump to like the colors. It seems like white and cream interior have the better resale values in terms of interior, and exterior wise, white and black do much better than gray, red, and blue. So interesting to see on the Model X. And then jumping to the Model S, we can see $4,500 premium for full self-driving versus $5,500 premium for full self-driving on the Model X. And in Model S colors, white is actually the most most in demand for the interior at $1,100. And then for exterior, red and blue have better resale value. Black, white, and gray don't have good valuation on terms of the used side. But definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what you're thinking. This is a pretty interesting thread, to say the least. And if you're searching for a used one, now you have some data on what is going on out there. But certainly used prices for Teslas have been getting pretty rocked pretty hard, and a lot of depreciation, and some good deals out there if you're looking for some like Model S, Model X's. Model 3s are already in like the $15,000 to $20,000 range, or at least they dipped down to there. I couldn't find any more after this, but then Model Y is getting under the $25,000 range, so it certainly is pretty interesting to see, and say the least. But definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what your thoughts on it.